Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch no bandit run. Keep your foot hard on the pedal, son, never mind them brakes. Let it all hang out, cause we got a run to make. The boys are thirsty in Atlanta, and there's beer in Texarkana. And we'll bring it back no matter what it takes.
Hey,
The springs in the sea, they're all bouncing on the
loaded up and trucking.
Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch old bandit run.
You have just unlocked the door to the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound and of sight. You are moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of offense and defense. You have just crossed over into the Irish Bill Sports Zone.
Irish Bill Sports broadcast of Navarre Raider football. Here's your host and the voice of Raider Nation, Irish Bill. And here come the Raiders.
welcome to episode 6 of the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. This is Irish Bill with Seminole Bob, or Seminole-less Bob.
Noless. Noless.
Noless.
Noless.
And they got Clemson coming in this weekend, who found the offense. They've actually found a key to the playbook since the Georgia game. Somebody locked that book up the first week against Georgia, and
Something.
maybe it was a Georgia player.
But, you know,
maybe it was Kirby.
There's a silver lining for Florida State. The alcohol sales in the stadium during the game will be higher.
And the score will be lower. I'm sorry. You're welcome, Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. We got a great show tonight. We got Coach Gannis, the offensive line coach for Navarre, coming in. We have 2 or 3 big bubbas coming in tonight. So they better get out the chicken wings because this place is going to be emptied out.
Yeah, just put a close sign on there.
And I think we can even sneak in the what was it? What did they call Jim McMahon? What was the old the punky QB? Roman Marshall for the Navarre Raiders coming in tonight.
Mr.
As well.
RPO.
Yeah, what a game for. I'll give you your bit there, Tim Keene. You almost blew a 28-0 lead though.
Ooh.
So
admit it, Tim. You were. Speaking of drinking, you might have been, or maybe you weren't, but I guarantee a lot of.
Maybe Dad Wayne might have been throwing him back a little bit. But 28-0, that's like I said. Plus, I was dealing with my 3-month. People say, well, don't blame your 3-month granddaughter. Well, it was a rough night for my granddaughter. She had a rough night on Saturday night, so I turned it off at halftime when it was 30-7.
I turned my game off, too.
I had no idea what happened after that. In fact, I didn't know till the next morning that Georgia actually came back,
took the lead,
wiped out that 28-0 lead, and took the lead 34-33 because Bama had a safety and a field goal, and it came down the last 2 minutes of the game. And I don't want to hear he's a freshman. I don't care how old he is. I don't want to hear it anymore. How many times a game did we hear that?
I never listened to the game.
You never listened to watch the Alabama-Georgia game?
No.
Well, they got a wide receiver that he graduated early. He's only 17 years old. And,
really?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. And
so he can't smoke a cigar when they win.
No, he caught the 75-yard touchdown pass after Georgia had taken the lead, and they won 41-34 as they got the 2-point conversion. He goes, yeah, Dad was for sure. And but So I missed that. I want to go back and watch that game because I heard it was pretty darn entertaining.
Just starting the second half.
And I was pretty ecstatic as my Irish held on and beat a very pesky Louisville team in South Bend at Notre Dame campus.
Yeah, that was one of my 10 losses. Shame on me. I know.
I told you last week.
I know. It was my fault.
Yeah, we'll have Paul Villanova join us again tonight. We'll be splitting up the interviews. I'll take Coach Gannis, and then I'll let you guys handle the players.
Yep.
Not that you can handle that offensive lineman that just walk in, one sophomore, Peyton Robinson.
The room is tilting to one side.
It is, and we're on that side.
Yeah.
So, anyways, great show coming up tonight. Yep. We'll go over our power rankings from this past week and our players of the week. Another Navarre Raider in there, a couple of Pace players joined our
all Santa Rosa
basically
party.
Well, the majority of the games were played in our end of the counties
of the
and
state,
up in the 850 because there was no games played in Tallahassee at all. And around that surrounding area as well. Game I'm looking forward to tomorrow Friday night is the Pace Madison County game. That I'm going to be interesting to catch up on the scores as we're doing the game over at Escambia Friday night. Got some other good games going on this week, and we'll go over those right now. Here's the schedule coming up for this week. Let me get to my notes here. Game going on right now. In fact, if you talk for a second, I'll bring up the Fort Walton Beach score. They're playing
Walton Beach.
Playing Rickards tonight.
Maybe homecoming, I think.
I think you're right. We'll bring up the Florida High School Football.com scoreboard. My good friend Josh Wilson. Now, not the Josh Wilson that plays for Navarre. He's been running this for about 12, 13 years now.
Not the Josh Wilson that can catch long passes.
And run over you.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll bring up the Panhandle scoreboard. There's only one game going on tonight. At the half, Rickards is up on Fort Walton Beach 10-7.
Paul picked
Close
Fort Walton.
Game. Paul did pick Fort Walton. So
I listened to last night's show on the drive-in. So
how was it? It was pretty darn good.
Better than the vice presidential debate, I think.
How was the interview with Coach O?
It was good. He was not at Tiananmen Square, though, either.
No. Well, it's only appropriate that this is just a joke. It's a political joke.
It's a joke.
It's only appropriate that Kamala Harris has a guy with last name Walls, but they haven't built one. And I got another one. I'm going to throw this one out here. I kind of let it slip last night. You know, the quarterback for UNLV last week, he left.
And the running back did too.
And they still demolished their opponent.
Yeah.
It's no longer NIL in Vegas.
What is it?
It's NILV. Nothing in Las Vegas. NILV.
Oh, listen.
Not in Las Vegas.
You know he got money under the table that
he had to.
You know he did.
So it's not NIL in Vegas anymore. It's NILV. Well, not in Las Vegas. I don't.
He's sitting at home and his team's winning.
Well, here's our schedule this week. You got Fort Walton Beach Rickards tonight. Baker County at Godby. That's a makeup game from last week as well.
Yep.
Our Friday tilts. Navarre at Escambia. We'll be out there 6:30 pregame on Friday night from Escambia High School on Emmett Smith Field. South Walton at Choctaw. Pine Forest at Crestview. West Florida Gulf Breeze. Madison County at Pace. That's a long haul for them.
It is.
But they're used to taking long hauls. Pensacola at Booker T. Washington. Catholic heading over to Mobile to take on Mobile Christian. Florida High at Childs. Gadsden County at Lincoln. That's another solid matchup there. Leon goes into the Peach State to take on Cairo, the syrup makers.
Cairo.
It's Cairo. The Georgia dog gave me the correct pronunciation.
Well, the guy that signs my paychecks from Georgia, and he says Cairo.
Well,
I said, yes, sir.
Either way.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Potato. Whammel.
Jefferson County at North Florida Christian. Arnold at Vernon. North Bay Haven at Mariana. Rutherford at Port St. Joe. Snook Academy, Alabama, at Lighthouse PCA. Baker at Northview. Jay at Central being played at Milton, since it's Milton's bye week this week.
Right.
They need a bye week. Bluntstown at Sneeds. Bozeman at Destin. What? That gets me every time you say it. Wakulla at St. John Paul II.
Good game.
Hollis Christian out of Jacksonville at Chipley. That's a long haul, too.
Yeah.
Cottondale at Franklin County, a battle of 2 unbeaten teams. Who would have thunk that going into this year?
I didn't pick them.
Liberty County at Weewa. McClay at Hamilton County, and Calhoun, Georgia at Osceola Christian, another undefeated team in Osceola Christian. 6 undefeated teams still left in the 850. And those would be Niceville, Mosley, Lincoln, Mariana, Taylor County. Wouldn't have thought that either. And then down in the rural in Region 2, you got Franklin County and Cottondale. So there's going to be down 1 undefeated team. So we could have as many as 5 at the end of this week.
That's awesome.
But there's our high school schedule. And like I said, Bob and I will be out at Escambia High School Friday night. We got our permission slips from our wives and from the high school. So,
yes.
So we are good to go. And that'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll get there. And I haven't looked at the weather yet. Have you, Bob, for Friday night?
Open the window. That was Robin Williams from Good Morning Vietnam.
We got
What's the weather like? Open the window.
70% chance of rain on Friday, so we will be taking the awning with us on Friday night.
We're not in the booth?
We are not. We are on top of the press box.
Bill, come on, man. Come on,
I
man.
try. Honestly, you don't really want to be inside the booth at Escambia.
I've been there.
But, no, I'm not going to say it, Deborah.
Roll Tide.
But, anyways, so we'll have a little bit of rain. Hopefully that 75% will be during the day. And then at nighttime it clears up. And
long as there's no lightning.
Don't stick your finger up.
Well, that's Bobby Nelson.
You said put
lightning.
You put your finger up and you said lightning. You never do that, even when you're inside.
I'm gonna bring my kite, by the way.
Well, anyways, let's go over our players, our power rankings, and our players of the week. We need something, don't we, Bob?
Yeah.
Irish Mills Panhandle Power Rankings, Class 4A, 5A, 6A. Number 1, Niceville. Mosley sits in the 2 spot. Pace at 3. Tate 4. Choctaw 5. Escambia 6. Arnold 7. Small schools, Catholic 1. Mariana, Jay, Cottondale, Chipley, Walton, and Baker. Your offensive player of the week from Pace, running back Mikhail Williams. 17 carries, 264 yards, 4 touchdowns. Is a place kicker, Caleb Nelson Jr., connected on all 8 extra points and 6 of his 9 kickoffs found the end zone as they defeated Crestview 56-28 in a district tilt. And Navarre Southmore defensive lineman Bryce Wheeler produced 15 tackles on a quarterback hurry as the Raiders upset previously unbeaten Tate 30-27 in a district matchup.
Doink. Perfect.
Did I?
Doink.
I got to speed up a little bit because I know it doesn't go very long. So I got it all in tonight, Bob. So there's your players of the week and our power rankings for Week 6. Week 6 done. Week 7's arrived.
Yep. Escambia in your top 7. I know they lost to Mosley and they lost to
Niceville,
yeah. Well,
everybody's lost to Niceville this year. They haven't really had a close game yet.
You think Niceville can do it?
I think they can go a long way.
They got to get through us.
Yes. Well, fortunately for them, they don't have to go through us in the playoffs because they dropped down to 5A.
That's right.
So I think they have a chance to go really far in the state playoffs this year. And the higher ranking that they have, they'll be able to host some games. And you do not want to go play Niceville at home with that raucous crowd that they have there.
Raucous.
That's my big word for the day. My wife limits me to one big word a show. so I can't even use diminutive.
Diminutive?
Oh, I just did.
We got a bunch of interviews.
You know, diminutive means I have a very small vocabulary.
Really?
Yes. No, I don't. That's just a joke. Well, anyways, we're going to head out commercial break. We're going to come back, and we're going to interview Coach Gannis, and then we'll get on with our players. Seminole Bob, Irish Bill, Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. You are watching the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show, Episode 6 here in 2024. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Sometimes all you need to change your life is a sign. Like an actual sign that's like above you. And no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. It's like they made beer into a place and gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, the best.
Marty! You're dead weight!
Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus.
Let's go sports bar!
To everyone who loves Culver's, the feeling is mutual. I'm Nicole from Culver's of Cross Plains, Wisconsin. And when I'm serving you a Butterburger, I'm just as happy as you are. I almost get giddy when I hear the sizzle of our fresh beef on the grill. Seeing that smile that comes from a meal made just right, some call it magic, but I like to call it love at first bite. Stop in for a cook-to-order Butterburger and let us make Culver's your happy place.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
To everyone who loves Culver's, the feeling is mutual. I'm Nicole from Culver's of Cross Plains, Wisconsin. And when I'm serving you a Butterburger, I'm just as happy as you are. I almost get giddy when I hear the sizzle of our fresh beef on the grill. Seeing that smile that comes from a meal made just right, some call it magic, but I like to call it love at first bite. Stop in for a cook-to-order Butterburger and let us make Culver's your happy place.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. Buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322. Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Grubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you. The Hustle isn't named after anyone. Not after a designer, definitely not after a mythological god. It's not about stripes or ranking or status. The Hustle is real. The Hustle is about you. So keep in mind when you're repping and rocking Hustle Hard USA streetwear, you can tell all the onlookers that this mark, this brand represents your hustle, your grind. You put in that time, that sweat, that pain. Now it's up to you to show them all what you got. Win or lose, the hustle is real. Go to www.hustlehardusa.com and I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Great teams have great support. The Navarre Raiders have one of the best support organizations, the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club. All the members see to it that the Raiders have all available necessities to keep the Raiders on track. Well, they're seeing to it that they are properly fed, have good transportation, or making sure that all Raider fans can hear all the exciting Navarre Raider football action. The Navarre Raider Quarterback Club is there to make it happen. Thanks, Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, for your support of your winning Navarre Raiders on IrishVilleSports.com.
There's an oldie for you.
Green Acres is the place.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. I got joined by Coach Gannis, the offensive line coach for the Navarre Raiders. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you for having me.
You got it. A lot of people came up to me after our slow start, and they said, what's wrong with Navarre? I said, there's nothing wrong with Navarre. I said, we're starting 10 new starters on offense, 4 new offensive linemen. Give them a few games, they're going to eventually gel. Even at the college level and the pro level, the Bears are going through the same issues with a new quarterback and a lot of new players on offense. So it just doesn't happen at high school, and it happens at every level going into the season. And I like the job, and I like the way that the offensive line is coming together, Coach.
Yeah, I think, I think anyone who's being realistic would have looked at kind of how we transition personnel-wise from last year to this year. We graduated 4 senior offensive linemen, so 4 new starters, a new starting quarterback, lost our starting H. I don't think we really returned any wide receivers that really played meaningful snaps for us last year. A couple guys that are still around that maybe played some garbage time last year that are now
Brandon Estrada.
That's now more of a difference maker for us now. Thank goodness. But that stuff takes time, and especially my group up front, and not just being new, but also the youth, right? Out of those 4 new starters, 3 of them are sophomores. And, I'd said this to somebody the other day that, those first 3 games when it was really tough sledding and, it was the fact that we were starting 3 sophomore offensive linemen was really kind of a discouraging fact. But these last 2 weeks, it really starts to become a fact that really gives you excitement. Like, hey, we're starting to turn the corner, and oh, by the way, 3 of those 5 are sophomores, and they got a lot of ball left to play for us.
And also look at the schedule. Catholic, one of the better teams in the area.
Sure, oh yeah.
Choctaw, another strong team. Then you go to Mosley, who's having an excellent season as well. So there was a combination of newness and your schedule kind of caught up with them in the first 3 games. But what I liked is a couple of those players, Peyton Robinson and Zevin Jones, got a little bit of playing time last year as freshmen.
Absolutely.
And I think that was huge coming into this season, Coach.
Absolutely. And I honestly, forget, especially a guy like Peyton and a guy that I don't have here tonight, but Jared Hoyla, the guy that's starting for us at center right now. I had pulled him up last year as a freshman as well. I almost think of those guys sometimes. I almost forget that they are sophomores. I almost think of them as juniors because typically we don't get those guys till they are sophomores with us. But, it's always a relieving fact whenever I realize, like, oh, yeah, that's right. I got these guys for quite a bit longer to work with and grow, not just on the field but in the weight room. It's not to say we're phoning anything in. I mean, goodness, we're 1-0 in the district and trying to grow and see if we can chase a district title here. But I think just bodes well for what we can become, right, throughout this group's career, provided we can keep them all together and healthy.
I had one of the Navarre faithful that have followed Navarre for a long time. They asked me, what's going on, Bill? I said, teams better get Navarre while they're at this level because Navarre is not going to be down for very long, and they haven't been down since I've been broadcast. They have not had a losing season since I started broadcasting Navarre football. Sure. And so you had your chance. We're on our way back.
Right.
And a big game coming up this week at Escambia.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be interviewing a couple of your, as I call them, Big Bubbas. They love that nickname.
Yes, sir.
And some people say, well, boy, isn't that offensive? No, not to them.
No.
But
they love that.
You got Escambia, a very talented offense coming up, very, very quick on defense. Going into this game, what mindset are they at going into this game this Friday night?
I think our guys are hungry. I think thankfully we've been able to kind of taste the fruits of our labor the last 2 weeks, and I think they've been chasing that and want more of that. And like you said, we're going to play certainly a really athletic football team. I mean, that's the first thing that jumps out to you when you watch them on film. But I do believe that if we will execute snap after snap after snap and not fall into the trap that we did early in the year of one guy making a mistake on this play, then the next play it's this guy, and the next play it's this guy, and kind of falling into that mode, right? If we can kind of build upon what we've done the past 2 weeks, I think we can play with them. I think this is a winnable football game for us.
Most definitely, and one of the most experienced head coaches in the air, Mike Bennett. I've known him for quite a few years. One heck of a coach, one heck of a character as well.
Yeah.
But you got that game. I don't go looking forward any more than the game ahead of us. I know a couple of guys have been injured on the defensive side of the ball with Zeke Burgess. He may or may not be going Friday night because I think they'd like to keep him back for that district matchup next week.
Sure.
And but Peyton Robinson, 6'3", at least 280. He's got to be pushing 280.
I'm not sure. Obviously once the season gets underway, you lose a chunk, especially when you're a big guy that's got a lot to lose already.
I know about that.
Yeah.
Not height-wise.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was knocking on the door of 300 pounds when we got started.
And if you look at him, it doesn't look like
No, it doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. So, I mean, big body. Zevin, not quite the height, but a dense kid, a strong kid, one of the stronger guys on our football team. A.J. Hopper, a guy that I pulled up at the tail end of last year from the freshman group who really works his tail off in the weight room, and he's probably in the 260-ish, maybe knocking on the door.
And the shortest of the bunch.
Well, shoot, I bet he's a touch taller than Zevin. You can't count.
Okay.
You can't count Zevin's high top. You can't count Zevin's hair. All right, but yeah, no. Pate's Pate's got a frame that, if he keeps sawing wood, keeps getting better, keeps getting stronger, I would imagine, if things align and he achieves what he's capable of, he's got scholarship size by the time he gets done playing, I would imagine.
Over the last 2 games, they've given Roman a chance to actually play the position and to get better.
Yeah.
One thing I like that Roman's doing, last year you guys had Terrence Marshall.
Yeah.
Nobody was stopping Terrence.
Yeah.
This year, he is spreading the wealth with his receivers. Last 2 games ago, 7 different receivers caught a ball. Last week, he only completed 7 passes, 6 different receivers.
Yep.
And that's the O-line doing their job to allow him to do his.
Well, it absolutely is. I think there's 2 parts to it. And I was just talking to somebody about kind of, they mentioned to me about opening up the offense. Well, part of that, it ain't like I didn't want to be opened up to begin the season. I just, I really didn't want to put Roman in a bad spot. I knew that if we tried to sling it all over in those first couple of weeks, he would have got hit a lot. To the point where we might not have him, and he would have probably turned the ball over. And I wanted to keep him out of those spots. I wanted to protect him a little bit. My guys are coming into their own as pass protectors and doing their job a little bit better, which is allowing me to feel more comfortable to turn him loose. And then as far as the ball distribution, look, that's really just our offense. Our offense is built around the run, and a lot of our pass game is built around, how are you going to defend our run game? And I've told the quarterbacks this before. Playing quarterback's a lot like being married. Just do what they tell you to do. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the ball will find its way to where it needs to go.
Most definitely. And that's given Roman a chance to get more comfortable back there.
Yeah.
Not that you're ever comfortable playing quarterback in the 8-5-0,
Sure.
because there's some big guys out there on the other side of the ball that are after you and after that ball.
Sure.
But the RPOs on Friday night, I think, was the best I've seen Roman. He made the right decisions all night long. Did not turn over the ball, but every time that he ran that option, he made the right decision all night long.
Yeah, well, I tell you, when we run the speed option like we were doing they were playing a bare front with basically 2 stand-up overhangs on either side of the front. And, speed option's a great call into bear. Ran that for a long time in different bear fronts. I really, when I run Speedo, I really want the ball pitched. I tell the quarterback on speed option, I want to get the ball into the guy's hands that knows what he's doing with it. Yeah. And so really my goal is for the quarterback to eliminate that pitch key and get the ball out. But they were so soft, they were so loose, and as we attacked him, widening so much that he made great decisions, stuck his foot in the ground and gained his positive yards. And then obviously guys blocking downfield, my guys doing a great job, especially on a play like that on the back side of the stretch play, right, that opens up some of those creases and lets you get some really big gains. And
in the end, the go-ahead touchdown at the end where Andre just made a Andre play.
Yeah,
I went into the line, bounced outside.
Yeah.
Once he got the outside, I knew he was going in for the score because there wasn't anybody going to catch him.
Yeah.
Because even if you run him down, it's tough to bring Andre down.
Yeah, it is. And really was a I think if he just stuck it up in there and just took what he could get, we probably got the first down in that scenario, and we would have had to keep snapping it and hopefully score. But because it really wasn't we didn't block that up great. And, credit to Tate or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, Spence he's got a knack for those kind of football plays. He is extremely tough to bring down.
Most definitely. And what I'm anxious to see is some more carries out of your special sophomore running back. Keegan Gilbert, I came out for the preseason, your guys' game against each other, your scrimmage, and I could tell. I looked at that young man's legs, and I was like, that is not a sophomore.
He don't look it.
He's 5'10", 195 pounds, and he is solid.
Well,
and I'm anxious to see him to get the ball a little bit more so that can free up Andre and Josh to get back to the defensive side of the ball a little bit.
Sure. Well, I think it's important to first, we're excited about him. He's been a blessing, and I think Coach brought it up the other night just about his approach and his attitude. You know what I mean? Like he is a lunch pail kind of guy, and which fits right into our team mindset. But he is still a sophomore, and he's still learning a ton. He's come so far learning. For me with backs, especially young backs, the biggest thing is learning what to do and being great when the ball's not in your hands. Particularly obviously pass pro, right? Mm-hmm. And he's come so far with that, and there's so much that he can still grow at and get better at. I'm really excited to see what he can blossom into, but. The fact that we got those three, and I can't remember off the top of my head the breakdown of the carries, but they were extremely close. The carries for those three guys, right?
Keegan 10, with 10, 8. Josh and Andre with 8 each.
Yeah, and that's not that I'm like, that's just how it worked out.
But the average, six yards a carry.
Yeah.
Anytime you get 6 yards a carry,
that'll hunt.
That's a lot of first downs.
Absolutely. But keeping backs fresh, you know what I mean? And, so that guys, obviously don't get hurt, but the guys don't put the ball on the ground, or, guys are fresh so that they continue to make good decisions with the ball in their hands. We're blessed that we got that amount of talent that we can do that with. But, yeah, Keegan's figuring it out. We're super happy to have him.
I know we got 5 solid starters on the line now, the big Bubbas. How's our depth at the lineman position?
Well, not great. If any large humans out there want to come play for Navarre football, not to say, I'm pretty darn happy with the group we got, but when it comes to depth, I'd be lying to you if I sat here and said we're in a great situation. because we're not. And look, I mean, we ain't just young with the ones that are starting. We're young behind them. You know what I mean? And so look, I mean, at the end of the day, that's why I get paid the big bucks, right? And that's my responsibility ultimately to try to bring these guys along as quickly as I can. I've been pretty well pleased for the most part with our progression. There's some guys that you don't know their names yet, that are backups that I do think are going to be able to grow into some roles for us. And so, and honestly, I mean, obviously this is down the line, but there's some ninth graders in our program right now that I also think that are some of them that we darn near pulled up during the summer. That I think are going to be really helpful for us in the future as well. So,
I've heard a lot of good things about the ninth grade class and our NYSA program.
Yeah,
the middle school aged young men. I've heard a lot of good things about. I seen one young man the other day, just turned 14 years old. He's 6'3", 215 pounds already. Jacoby, and it's like
I know exactly.
I met him and
it's
it's like
about.
You were 13.
Yeah,
it's like there's no possible way.
He's a good-looking youngin.
Yes, he is.
It's
Jacoby Walmsley, I believe, is his last name.
Yeah,
and that's a name to remember years down the road once he gets into high school. But I look forward to this Escambia game Friday night,
sir.
Coach. I appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you very much, Bill.
And just like it's always greater to be a Raider.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go out to commercial break, and then we'll bring on our first player. This Irish Bill on Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. And whoever you guys want to grab first, if you want to grab Peyton, I'll go ahead and do one commercial, and we'll come right back, Paul. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview with Coach Gannis, the offensive line coach at Navarre. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our first Raider player tonight.
To everyone who loves Culver's, the feeling is mutual. I'm Nicole from Culver's of Cross Plains, Wisconsin. And when I'm serving you a Butterburger, I'm just as happy as you are. I almost get giddy when I hear the sizzle of our fresh beef on the grill. Seeing that smile that comes from a meal made just right, some call it magic, but I like to call it love at first bite. Stop in for a cook-to-order Butterburger and let us make Culver's your happy place.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. I'm Paul Villanova, the PA announcer at Bennett C. Russell Stadium on Friday nights, and with me is sophomore Peyton Robinson. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Put the microphone a little closer to you.
A little closer. Is this good?
Yeah, better.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Peyton, how long have you been playing football?
I've been playing since I was around 6 years old. I got into it after I started off with baseball, and then my mom put me into football because it was more there was more things to do in it, and it builds you as a character.
So you played. So I heard baseball. You played baseball?
Yes, sir.
At the NYSA?
Yes, sir.
All right. What position did you play?
I don't even remember. Probably I think first base. That's what it was. I'm pretty sure.
I can imagine you could hit the ball pretty well.
Yes, sir.
But I think you made the right decision by.
Yeah, I definitely love football way more.
So you said since you were 6?
Yes, sir.
So who was your coach over there?
Well, we had a lot. When I first started, it was Coach Mark, and then we had a coach named Coach Tony, and my last year it was Coach Shane.
Okay, Coach Shane.
Yes, sir.
That's right, because that coach of that team changed 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Now, was Bryce always on the Bryce Wheeler, who also plays for the Raiders on the defensive line? Was he your teammate from the get-go?
Yes, sir. He was. Well, he started. I think he started a year before me, and then when I joined, we went to the same school and stuff, so we were already friends. And yeah, we've been teammates ever since then.
So one of the questions I always ask is, who's your favorite player on the team? But that's an easy one, right? You guys have been friends for forever, and you guys always gotten along. Who's the funniest guy on the team?
I'd just say Braxton Bohr.
Really?
Yeah.
I've asked that question to about 3 or 4 people. 2 have said Braxton and 2 have said Zeke.
Zeke is funny too. They have like the same energy.
Really?
Yeah.
I tell this story. It's a funny story. Zeke's come over to the house a couple times, and Zeke comes in one night, and he's trying to hide. And I said, Zeke. And he's like, how'd you see me? I'm like, your hair sticks up about 4 inches behind the counter. All right. So you got to play. You're only a sophomore.
Yes, sir.
Got to play last year as a freshman. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, last year, we had a few times where I needed to go in, and I mean, the first time I went in, I was like scared. I was like really scared, and then, but like as the season went on and I got in a little more, it made me like realize how. I mean, it's not like scary. It's not really hard. All you got to do is just do your job, and I mean, once you do your job, you get the hang of it, and eventually, it just kept going on. I got better, and now this year, I'm doing pretty good.
You're doing great.
Yes, sir.
So last year you guys had a experienced O-line, 3 or 4 seniors, and I think you went in. Somebody got hurt late in the year. Or?
Braxton hurt his ankle in a few of the games. So on Black Pearl, which is where I usually got in, I would like start and go in for him.
Okay. So talk about the O-line. You guys have come along. You have 1 senior?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We have Walsh. He's our only returning starter, I'm pretty sure, on offense. And then at left tackle, we have AJ Hopper, and then Walsh left guard. Our center is Jared Hoyla.
Also
right
a sophomore.
Yes, sir. Our junior right guard is Zevin Jones, and then I'm the right tackle.
Okay, Zevin's a junior?
Yes,
For some reason
sir.
I thought he was a sophomore. So I got to ask you about the Tate game.
Mm-hmm.
Great win. Talk about that game a little bit. And when in that game did you guys know that you could compete?
Well, I mean, so we got in. Everybody was ready to play. Like, we were really fired up because this is a district game. And they scored once. But instead, like, in the first 2 games, I noticed, like, most of our team, once the first team scored, like, they would, like, have their heads down already. But this time, we kept our heads up. We were ready to go back on. Offense went in and scored, and it just kept flipping over back and forth. And, I mean, it ended up how it ended up.
It ended up great. Let's talk about that. You guys are obviously you got a pass protect and you've got a run block, and you've got the rotation of running backs in the last couple games has been different and strong. Talk about that. Some of the guys you have back there you're opening holes for.
Well, I know Andre Spence, Josh Wilson, and Keegan Gilbert. He's a sophomore, and he's like he got here pretty late, but I feel like he's doing really good. Like, I mean, he knows how to tote the ball. Andre, I mean, we've all seen Andre and Josh. Like, they're great at running the ball. They know what they're doing, and I mean, really, I'm just like excited for Keegan. Like, as the season goes on, how we can all develop and like what we can do, like once our team gets more developed and older in age.
Yeah, and you guys are going to be good. I mean, the team was really strong last year, and now we're young, and the number of sophomores and juniors that we have, you guys, I just see good things happening for you. And Keegan, especially, he's fun to watch. He doesn't want to come down. He runs hard. And I just heard, I didn't realize that Cooper's not playing this week.
I don't really know much about it. I know he's sick, and there's like been a sickness kind of like swirling around the team, but our coaches told us like don't share water bottles, don't share food, all of that.
He was feeling a little bit down, but I think his mom is also being honored at the Air Force Navy game this week, and so I think he's going to that, and that's why he's not playing. So as a result, I think Josh Wilson is going to be playing a little bit more defense, and it'll allow Keegan to get a lot more carries. So let me ask you this. On the O-line, you're in the trenches, you're going one-on-one with a guy across from you a lot. Is there any trash talking going on during the game? You can tell the truth.
Actually, it's kind of like half and half. Like, I feel like so I go against ends and the interior D linemen. It's like mixed up because the ends, I feel like they're really like, we're playing a game. Let's have fun, compete with each other. It's not much trash talk, but once we go against like the bigger boys, like the interior D linemen, they talk a whole lot of trash. Like, yeah, it's funny sometimes, and that's how Zevin got that one personal foul that one game. I think against Milton, because I mean he was just talking trash all night.
The guy he was going against was?
Yes, sir.
That's funny. And I can't picture you talking trash at all, Peyton.
No,
So.
I don't really even talk.
We have Coach Gannis here tonight. Talk about what it's like playing for Coach Gannis and with Coach Gannis.
Well, playing for him it's really fun. Like his offense, I love the way, I love our offensive schemes. My favorite scheme is gap scheme because power. Power is a gap scheme, and I mean, it's just a lot of hitting people. Yeah, that's my favorite part of it.
And for those who don't know what gap scheme or power scheme means, what's that kind of mean? Where do you go?
So it's basic. Well, gap scheme can be a lot of things, but power is like usually where the guard pulls and like kicks out the end, and then everybody down blocks in, and that's where like the hitting part is.
You get to hit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to change away from football. I got to ask you this because I read about it in the newspaper. Talk to me about fishing.
Oh, so about 2 years ago, me and my friends we just wanted to go fishing for fun. I mean, my friend Jacob, he's really big on fishing, and we decided, I was like, okay, I'll just go with you. He gave me a few fishing poles to use, and I thought it was really fun. And then, so after about a year, we switched to saltwater, and it's really fun because there's there's bigger fish, better fighting, and going on boats are fun too. Sometimes we go on a charter, and I mean, it's really fun to relax outside. I'm getting outside without having to extra like in football we're outside all day.
But you're working.
So, yeah, we're working, but we can really relax outside and just have fun and talk to each other.
Now you mentioned saltwater. Do you go out on the pier?
We go to the pier usually. So my friend Michael, we go to his house, and he lives on the bay. So we usually go out there on the bay. That's where we usually go.
Okay. And what do you catch? Do you catch anything? Or you just go out and?
Well, some days are better than most. But lately, we've caught sharks.
Come on.
Yeah, we caught a few sharks, redfish, a lot of catfish, which I don't really like those, but I mean it is what it is. But we've caught jack crevalle, and there's a lot of ladyfish out there too.
Well, what's a ladyfish?
It's just if most people know what a tarpon is, it's just like a little, basically a baby tarpon. Well, at the pier they get really big because it's the beach, but in the bay, it's like a baby tarpon that just jumps out the water.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. So outside of football and fishing, those are your major
hobbies. Yeah.
Things to do. Now, I know we're getting the wind down message here, but I want to end with a couple things. You're born and raised in Navarre. You're probably one of the few guys whose mom actually graduated from Navarre High School, right? She was class of 2006, I think.
I think so, something around there.
And I met your little sister tonight for the first time too. So
yes, sir.
She seems shy. Is she always shy, or?
No, she talks all the time. It's a lot.
So the last thing I'll ask you is, obviously football is a tremendous path for you. What would you like to do after high school? You thought about what you wanted to study, or you want to continue to try to play football?
I mean, I want to play football in college, but I mean, I don't really have a full plan design yet. But I mean, I want to play college football, and then I know I want to study something in science because I don't know why, but science just really, it's always been interesting to me.
Any particular type of science, or
probably some type of animal biology, something.
Cool.
Something in that field.
Cool. Now, how it's kind of a personal question. How tall and big are you right now? You're 6'2"?
Yes, sir. And I weigh about because of practice, my weight fluctuates, but right now I think I'm 274. But
wow.
it's usually from around.
And you're 15?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's what your best years are ahead of you on the football field. Like I said, I think you guys are going to be really strong in the next couple of years, and big couple of games coming up with Scambia coming up, and then the big one obviously is I don't know if you guys have thought about this yet, but you go out and beat Crestview, and guess what? You play Pace for the district championship.
Yes, sir.
So I know you're not, Coach Bagley wouldn't want you to think it too far ahead, but. Any final thoughts you want to share with what's one thing about Peyton Robinson that nobody knows besides fishing?
I don't really know. I don't know. Oh, well, most people around my friends, obviously I'm like, or hold on, let me switch it around. Around like other people, sometimes I don't really act like I kind of act shy a little bit, like my sister. But like when I'm around people that I'm always around, I'm like, I can be like rowdy, like Zeke and Bar. We all like have fun. I don't know how to explain.
No, I get it, and those those are two guys that bring out that kind of energy, and Well, hey, thank you very much for being on. We've had Peyton Robinson, sophomore offensive lineman for the Navarre Raiders, and good luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Pete.
That was Paul Villanova with Peyton Robinson. Next we got coming up, Seminole Bob will be interviewing Zevin Jones, offensive guard for the Raiders. We'll go right in, no commercial break.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
And this is Bob Grant. We're back at Buffalo Wild Wings for the Garrett Bagley Coaches Show. Another Wednesday night. My guest, this handsome fellow right here, Zevin Jones. Zevin?
Yes, sir.
Did I say it right?
Yes, sir. Right
guard for the Navarre Raiders. We had your position coach, Coach Gaddis on. He's pretty high energy, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how this year has gone for you. You're a junior, right?
Yes, sir.
You played some last year, right? You didn't start. You had the legends, the other big we call the offensive line the big bubbas. And now you're thrust into position. How's the year gone so far?
I feel like it's gone good.
Pull that, yeah.
I feel like it's gone good. We lost our first 3 games, but we're on a streak right now, so we're just going to keep doing it throughout the year.
We have seen such an epiphany with the offensive line. I mean, you guys, in the beginning of the year, wasn't your fault, but there were high snaps. There was just miscommunication. And now it's just unbelievable. People just don't understand what a big win last Friday night was against Tate.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how the locker room was last week after the win.
We were hype and dancing and everything. It was so fun.
Jacob Walsh is the senior. He's the left guard.
Yes, sir.
Left guard. He's the opposite of you. Talk about his leadership on the offensive line.
His leadership is amazing. When we lost, he told us to keep our heads up and just keep pushing. Yeah.
Roman's RPOs were fantastic last week.
Yes, sir.
Really helped the run game. Was there an emphasis last week in practice, or was it just something Roman did on his own?
I think there was. I think Coach Gans had it planned.
What do you like better, blocking runs or blocking passes?
Probably run.
You get to smash them, huh?
Yes, sir.
Smash them. Bill's been following the number of pancakes and all, but you face some great teams this year. Pensacola Catholic, the top 5, Mosley undefeated. Go Catholics undefeated too. And so you walk into Tate. Was your confidence pretty high going into the game?
Yes, sir, it was.
What did you see as the game wore on?
I saw our energy build up from each play, and then
Yeah, we did too. You guys were opening holes. Did you sense that you had Tate on the ropes?
Yes, sir, we did.
Yeah. Zevin Jones, offensive lineman for Navarre. So you're a junior. Next year will be your senior year. Do you have plans after? What do you? If you had a magic wand and could wave it, what would you like to do?
I want to do something in music because I sing and stuff.
You want to play at the next level?
Yeah, I would like to, but if that doesn't work, I want to do music.
What have you thought about a field of study?
No, not
Any
yet.
particular field, any subject you like in school better than the other?
Not really.
Not really. Do you, I guess I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Are you on the weightlifting team too?
Yes, sir.
After football? I think every football player is.
Yeah.
And Coach Bagley, is he the men's weightlifting coach too?
Yes, sir.
Do you do competitive cheer? Do you do track and field in the spring?
No, just football
baseball,
and weightlifting.
Just football and weightlifting. What classification in weightlifting are you in? Is it a certain poundage?
Yeah.
Is it unlimited?
I'm in unlimited.
Yeah. Navarre community is pretty special. I think you probably realize that, and the closeness that the players have. You follow a long legacy of great offensive linemen. You still got the rest of this year and, of course, next year to play. How important it is to continue that legacy of great offensive linemen at Navarre.
It's very important. Last year, Jacob Walsh and Cam taught us a lot, so we're trying to follow in their footsteps.
Who did you back up last year?
Jacob Walsh.
Jacob. Oh, you backed up Jacob, and then you went over to right guard.
Yeah.
So you got a right-handed quarterback. So part of the right guard and right tackle. You don't have his blind side. That's Jacob's job.
Yes, sir.
And the left tackle's job. You said you like the running, the blocking for the running. You've got some good running backs this year.
Yes, sir.
Josh Wilson, Spence. Talk about them and their leadership.
Josh just has the speed, and he leads real well. Andre, just a powerhouse. And then Keegan, he surprised me when he came in because I didn't know he was a sophomore. But, yeah.
I call him Thunder and Lightning. The sophomore running back from Texas, Gilbert, and Josh. Want to call him Josh Carter. Josh Wilson being Lightning. 28's getting to be a pretty good running back.
Yes, sir.
Yep. What's your best in weightlifting? What is it, clean and jerk or?
My bench is pretty good, probably my strongest.
And what?
My bench is 300.
300. Is that what you're benching?
Yes.
Yeah. My guest has been Zevin Jones. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir.
Right guard for the Navarre Raiders. We hope to have you on in upcoming weeks. He's a quiet young man. I wouldn't want to line up against this dude. He'll knock your block off. Zevin, thanks for joining us, man. Junior Zevin Jones of the Navarre Raiders has been my guest. We'll get another lineman in here in a minute. You're listening to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre, blocking a bridge from beautiful Navarre Beach. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a minute with our next guest.
University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. Buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. I'm Paul Villanova again, the PA announcer at Bennett C. Russell Stadium. With me, I've got A.J. Hopper, offensive lineman. A.J., what grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
10th, so you're a sophomore too.
Yes, sir.
So the offensive line is, talk about it. You guys have at least a couple sophomores, and who else? I mean, talk about the offensive line and what grade you're in.
Yeah, I'm in 10th grade. 3 of our starters are in 10th grade on the offensive line. And Walsh, he's a senior. He's a good leader. I like playing next to him. He's smart. Yeah.
And obviously Peyton's in 10th grade. And is Zevin in 10th too? I thought
he's a junior. He's
a junior. Okay. Okay. And now, did you play here last year?
Yes, sir.
You played on the freshman team? Okay. Did you play, are you from Navarre originally? Or?
No, sir. I was born in Ohio.
Okay.
And I lived in Ohio, Arizona, and then I moved here.
And when did you move here?
2020, during COVID.
Okay, so middle school? Did you go to middle school here?
Yes, sir. I started here in 6th grade.
And which one?
Ohio Navarre.
And did you play at the NYSA at all?
Yeah, I didn't play my 12U year. No, I didn't play my 11U year, but I played my 12U and 14U.
Okay, so the 11U year would have been the first year of COVID.
Yes,
I used to run that program before Mr. Eberhardt. I don't know if you remember Dan Eberhardt. He ran it after me, but the year of COVID, we had to play. The league shut down, and we had to play teams that were all over the place, and just so we could play. But so you have a brother that plays too, right, at Navarre High?
No, sir, I don't.
You don't? I thought you had a brother that.
There's someone with the same last name, but we're not brothers.
Ah, really? There's another Hopper on the.
Yes, sir. Brody.
Okay, that's a pretty. It's not like Smith.
Yeah.
So, talk about the Tate game. Great game.
Yeah, it was fun.
When in that game, I asked Peyton the same question. When in that game did you realize that, hey, we can compete?
First quarter.
First quarter? Talk about that.
We just came out. We were, I don't know how to explain it, but we were pushing down the field. We were doing pretty good. We came out, we showed out, and we were pretty good.
And they scored first. I think they scored first, right?
I don't know. I think so.
And then we got the ball, and I think there was a roughing the passer penalty, and then we ended up scoring on that drive. And I love asking this question. You guys are in the trenches. You're going one-on-one with the guy across from you. Is there any trash talking going on during the game?
Sometimes, not really. I don't really talk to people that much during the game, but sometimes we talk. I mean, we have serious conversations, but sometimes we just talk to each other, mess around a little bit.
And kind of who's the leader on the offense? Obviously Walsh on the line, but Roman's really stepped up this year.
Yeah, Roman, he's being a good leader. He's stepped up. He knows how to keep us motivated and keep us up.
And it's like you said. I didn't realize that there's 3 sophomores on the O line. You guys are going to be good for a couple of years. I know this is tough. I don't want to call it a transition year because last year we had. I don't know if you were familiar with the guys that played O line last year. at the varsity level. We had a couple of big guys, and they've all moved on. But you guys are going to be that in a year or two, and it's going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
But we have a game coming up this week. Do you know anything about Escambia?
I just watched their film. They look like a big athletic team, but I mean, if we can compete. We can do our jobs, do our assignments, and we have a chance.
What's their D line look like? Are they big on the D line?
Yes, sir. They're big. Yeah. Yeah, some of the D linemen. I know one of their tackles. He's a sophomore like us, but he's a lot bigger. He's
like, if you had to guess, like 6'3", 270 or
6'3". I think over 300. I think
really?
He's like 325.
But you guys are probably like quicker.
Yes,
than
sir.
that, right? So,
yeah.
Talk about some of the schemes that you guys put together. I know Coach Gannis has been a great coach, and Peyton was talking about some of the blocking schemes that you have to kind of go against that. Anything you want to add to that, or?
Coach Gannis is a smart guy. He runs our offense really good. He knows what plays we can do against them. We watch film on them, so we know what to do, and we change a lot of plays every week, just for the team we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
In this game, it's against a non-district opponent. It's Escambia, like you said, a lot of athletes, a lot of bigger guys, and you don't want to look too far ahead, but really it comes down to Crestview and pace, right?
Yes, sir.
You beat Crestview in 2 weeks, and then the pace game becomes a district championship game. So,
yeah.
What's your favorite thing about football?
The friends. I make a lot of friends playing football. Like the football community is really good. Everyone knows each other. We're all friends in some way.
Who's your best friend of the team?
Matthew Lee.
Matthew who?
Matthew Lee.
Oh, Matthew Lee. Okay.
Yeah, he's a defensive lineman.
Yeah, number 93.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is he a sophomore too?
Yes, sir.
Wow, you guys have a ton of sophomores, both offense and defense. So,
yeah.
Who's the funniest guy on the team?
I think Braxton Barr. Yeah.
You know what? So I've interviewed 5 people so far this year, and he's got 3 votes, and Zeke's got 2.
Yeah, I like Braxton. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a good leader too. You know what's funny? You probably don't remember this, but when they were freshmen, Easy Gasca, Vinny, Braxton, and there was one more. They were all the O-line of the freshman team.
Dang.
Yeah,
they changed a lot then.
Yeah, none of those guys played D until they came to their sophomore year.
Yeah, during practice sometimes we do stuff where Easy blocks some of the D linemen. He's just pretty good. You can tell he was a lineman.
I think he played center.
Yeah, it's like his little brother.
Oh, that's right. His brother, not so little, but his brother plays. His name? What's his name? Eli, right?
Eli, yes.
Eli, yeah. All right. So we talked a lot about football. What do you like to do outside of football?
I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend.
All right. So talk about your girlfriend. Is she a Navarre student as well?
Yes, sir. Yeah, she's a sophomore.
Okay. And what's her name?
Her name's Judy.
Judy?
Judy, yes, sir.
Okay. And what do you guys do for fun?
We hang out a lot. We spend a lot of time at my house. We hang out with her mom a lot. Her mom's really nice. I like her.
That's cool. And if you guys, you go to the beach to hang out, or
all summer we were at the beach all the time.
So coming from Ohio, obviously it's a big change to come to the beach, and it's kind of the place to hang out for high school kids. It's not a bad thing to do, right? I grew up in Massachusetts, which is cold, and the summers are nice, but we didn't live 3 miles from the beach like you guys do. So, do you live on the beach? Or do you live?
I live 5 minutes away from the beach. I live a couple minutes away from the high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's talk about some of the running backs you guys have. Obviously, you guys on the O-line, you guys pass protect and you block for running backs. And it's you obviously have Andre and Josh. But talk about Keegan a little bit, another sophomore.
I thought he was like a junior or senior. But when I saw he was a sophomore, that changed my perspective on him because he's really powerful. He's fast. He's smart. He's a good guy.
Yeah. He's only going to get better too.
Yes,
I just think I want to come back and continue to watch you guys because, obviously I have a bias with having a senior, but you guys are going to be good in a couple of years. I mean, really good. Your team's good now, and coming from where you were the first 3 games to where we are now, it's been a pretty fun transition to watch.
Yeah. And, we're on 2-win streak. We can make it 3, 4.
You can run the table,
Yes,
and there's no reason you can't. I think that every week you're getting a little bit more confident. And talk about Coach Gannis a little bit. How tough is it playing for Coach Gannis? Or
I love playing for him. He's a really good coach. He knows how to teach us. He knows how to keep us pushing and going. Playing for him was a lot different than all my other coaches. He's a lot harder on us in a good way. He knows how to teach us the way we need to be taught, and he's a really good coach.
I think it was the Mosley game. Was that the last away game we had where I remember, obviously we lost that game. And I remember he had after the game, all you guys off to the side, by where you guys, the locker room was, you guys were all off meeting for maybe like 30 minutes. And I was saying to myself, that can't be, it's got to be tough, but it seems like you guys were really listening and buying into what he's having to say. Do you remember that, what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he has tough love, but it makes us better. He tells us what we don't want to hear, but that's one of the good parts.
Okay. All right. So the last thing I'll ask you, obviously I screwed it up with. I thought for some reason it was your brother that played. Just another hopper on the team. But do you have siblings or somebody that were here tonight?
Yeah, I have a sister.
Is it okay? How old is your sister?
17. She turns 18 December.
She go to Navarre High too?
No, she does. She goes to college in Pensacola. So yeah.
Where at? Which?
I think just Pensacola.
Pensacola State.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And just the two of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. What part of Ohio?
Akron. I think it's
north.
An hour or two away from Columbus. I don't know where it's at exactly. But
so doing that, did you grow up sports fans of Ohio teams?
Yes, sir. Yeah. My dad's a big Ohio State fan. And so we would always go to games there. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was real fun.
And how about a pro team? Are they? Did you have a pro team? No,
sir. Yeah, it's college.
College, okay. And now do you still root for Ohio State?
Yes, sir.
Now I can't even remember how they're doing this year. They're pretty. I know I pick them every week in the pool I'm in. But are they undefeated?
Yes, sir.
This year? Okay.
Yeah, they're doing really good this year.
Okay. Who they play this week? Do you know?
I don't know.
All right. Well, you know what? The only game that matters for you guys this week is
Escambia.
And I know they've got, like I said, some talent. They've got one of the kids that Vinny actually played with when they were young is committed to Ole Miss. They call him Squirrel. His name is last name is Clardy. I think he may be hurt. I know he rolled an ankle. But again, it's going to be like you said, doing your job, staying disciplined. Not getting baited into stuff, and look, best of luck. What do you want to do after? I know you're a sophomore in a couple of years, but what do you think you want to do after high school?
If I can play at the second level, I would, but I don't really have like a career planned out yet. What I want to do after, I know I want to go to college for a couple of years and
start getting that film out now. Learn how to get that huddle film highlights out on Twitter. All that stuff matters, and the earlier you can start that, the more the coaches have the eyes on you and start to see. O-line doesn't get a lot of love as much as they should, but you guys are doing a heck of a job, and it's only going to get better. So, good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. We've had A.J. Hopper, sophomore, offensive lineman on. We'll take a commercial break and continue with the coach's show from Buffalo Wild Wings. Thanks, A.J.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll have our last interview of the night. Roman Marshall coming in. We're going to run off a couple of commercials, and we'll finish up our Buffalo Wild Wings coaches show on this Wednesday night. First, let's go through a couple of commercials so we can hear from our sponsors.
Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Rubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you. The Hustle isn't named after anyone, not after a designer, definitely not after a mythological god. It's not about stripes or ranking or status. The Hustle is real. The Hustle is about you. So keep in mind when you're repping and rocking Hustle Hard USA streetwear, you can tell all the onlookers that this mark, this brand represents your hustle, your grind. You put in that time, that sweat, that pain. Now it's up to you to show them all what you got. Win or lose, the hustle is real. Go to www.hustlehardusa.com, and I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show with our last interview of the night. Welcome back to the show, Navarre quarterback Roman Marshall. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Get that mic a little bit closer. This is not your first rodeo. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about last Friday night's game. Just an observation. It seems that the offensive line is really starting to come together.
Yes, sir.
They gave you guys a lot of protection, opened up some big holes for you and the running backs to run through. Average 6.0 per carry between you, Keegan, Andre, and Josh. And anytime you can average 6 yards a carry, that's a lot of first downs.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, but one thing I want to talk about is your decision-making last week on the RPOs, on the running the option. It seemed like every decision that you made was the correct one. Maybe from my vantage point, I see it one way. You may read it another way, but a lot of the decisions that you made were the right decisions, running the ball and pitching the ball when you needed to.
Yes, sir. My coach all week on the RPOs and pitching it, he was always like, hey, we want to get this ball to our playmaker, Josh, Keegan, get this ball in their hands so they can run it. And when we finally started pitching it, I pitched it to the running back, but he was surprised when I took the ball because all week he was like, hey.
You haven't done that all year.
Never. So when I took the ball, he was really proud of me for that, and then I did it 3 more times.
Well, the holes were there when you did take the ball.
Yes, sir.
But another thing that I've liked over the last couple of weeks, you're starting to throw the ball, but you're not picking one receiver. 2 weeks ago, you had 7 different receivers with catches. Last week, you had 7 completions, 6 different receivers. That's one thing that's different this year with this team is last year he had to go to Terrence Marshall. Now everybody's pitching in.
Yes, sir. I think I really like how Coach Gannis is rotating people, calling the plays, using both sides of the field. Gives me a lot of options, gives me a lot of easy access throws, more completions, which makes it really easy for the offense to move the chains, and that's my job. So
Most definitely. And the biggest part about last week, well, other than in the win over an unbeaten team, was you did not turn the ball over at all last week. No interceptions, no fumbles. And when you can always stay in a game when you don't turn the ball over.
Yes, sir.
And you got Escambia coming up this week. A very athletic, very talented team on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. I know Clardy is a little bit banged up on the defensive side, but I'm sure he'll game it through Friday night. You got Nino Freeman and backup Billy Dunn, so they can run 2 different quarterbacks at you. What have you guys been working on to get ready for Escambia?
Same thing as any other team. Running our plays, running our offense. Unbalanced, balanced, 2 receivers. We're going to run everything against Escambia. We're going to see what works. We're going to see what doesn't work. It's going to happen. We're going to protect the ball. No turnovers. That's our goal. No turnovers, move the chains. So we're just going to find whatever works and stick with it.
And it's been really nice to have 2 experienced tight ends, H-backs, with the way Jackson Hilton's playing. Jacob Crowder with the big touchdown reception, wide open. You guys ran that play to perfection. I thought you had handed off the ball, and next thing I know, Jacob's running down the left slant, wide open in the end zone. All you had to do is just get it to him.
What really helps us with that stuff is Josh Wilson and Keegan Gilbert. They, no matter what, they're running 100%. So that defense, they see Josh running, they're going after him, and he's running out that fake, which opens up big windows for me. And all week that play was kind of iffy. Didn't really want to run in the game. We ran it. And because Josh was getting the ball all night, running the ball hard, when they thought he got the ball, Jacob Crowder came wide open for a touchdown. And that's being a team guy, and driving us down the field, and then we scored.
The thing about the 3 running backs that we're running, we're not even using Curtis Sanders. He would do a great job back there as well. But all 3 of the backs run hard. And you're not going to take them down on your first hit.
They're big. They run hard. They run with heart. And that's being for the team also.
Most definitely. I mean, Josh is mainly a defensive player, but he has sacrificed the defensive side of the ball for the good of the team. When you needed a back there in the backfield, Keegan's coming in nicely. Only a sophomore. I'm anxious to watch this young man the next couple of years.
Yes, sir.
Because we're going to be, after this year, we'll have to replace him. But like with Navarre, we reload. Going into this season, a lot of people were down on Navarre after the first 3 games. They say, what's wrong with Navarre? And I kept telling them, I said, you know what? 10 new starters on offense.
Yes,
it's going to take a little time for them to gel. And I don't think Tate had any idea that you guys were going to come out and punch him right in the face on Friday night. When they scored, they thought they were just going to take over the game, but they didn't stop you the whole first half. You scored on all three of your possessions in the first half, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yes,
they did as well on all 3 of theirs. So neither team stopped either team in the. But I knew in the third quarter that once you guys got the lead, that the defense was really going to step up in the second half. They shut out Tate in the third quarter. They allow the fourth quarter touchdown to give Tate the lead, but we regained it right back on a big run by Andre. And then the defense, they got down to our 20 with less than a minute to go. They've been passing the ball well all night long, but the defense stood up once again when they had to.
Yes, sir. I think the reason the defense did that is because, one, we kept them off the field this game. We drove the ball. We scored. They were a lot less tired. They were ready to play, put their hearts on the line for this game. And another thing about the score, the one drive we didn't score, where Cade kicked the field goal. A lot of people don't think kickers are very important, but we won that game by 3 points.
I'm a dad of a kicker. I know how important the kicker is, but they don't get a whole lot of credit. And that's big-time situation, and Cade steps up for the second straight game.
Yes, sir.
A 34-yard field goal is longest this season, longest in his high school career.
Jack making 3 in a row.
Jack and 2 kickers, we can count on both of them to get the job done. But you get to that fourth quarter, and what was it like? I mean, you stop them on the first 3 plays. They got 4th down. What is it like on the sidelines? For anybody that's never been on the sidelines of a football field, in that moment, what is going on the sideline?
I mean, that moment you realize, if you're a backup, if you're a starter, if you're a JV player in the stands or watching the game, you realize, man, this is my family. This is what we work for, and you're just screaming your head off. This is the moment, and when you finally realize this is the moment it comes down to, that's when you're
comes down to one play.
Yeah, you're just in it with your heart, and that's when you start to love football. That last play of the game where everything's on the line, you start to love it. You start to. Well,
I don't know if you go back at all with your dad and watch the broadcast, but Bob and I, we get as excited as you guys do. We get a little critical at times too, but we try not to. But at the end, I mean, we're up there screaming like a little church girl when you guys stopped them on 4th down, and a lot of people did not expect that. And with this Navarre team this year, get used to it. Because if you're going to give up on us, we're going to prove you wrong. Thanks, Roman, for coming on again tonight. Good luck on Friday night against
Thank
Escambia. Navarre quarterback, Roman Marshall. Thanks. As always, you're always welcome. Let's get Roberto back in here. Roberto.
Enjoying just meeting the players.
Some new players on tonight. Peyton
last
Robinson.
Week we couldn't swing a dead cat. Not that I'm not an anti-cat.
Bob, I know I showered and I smell really good, but you can scoot over just a tad. There you go.
We had Coach
Ganis.
Bagley. Well, yeah.
Coach Ganis on with us first. And then
but
we went to Peyton
Robinson.
Paul did the interview with Peyton.
We had last week we had Coach Bagley on. And
Coach Bagley.
And he was here. He made sure that the people that he lined up showed up.
Yeah, he messaged me yesterday and he said, Bill, I'm thinking about bringing the linemen. He goes, how many can I bring? I said, well, no more than 3. And
there was 10.
There was like 10 players, and I love that the other players come out and support their teammates.
Oh, yeah. The families came.
They're a family.
Mm-hmm.
And Roman over here with his dad, Doc Marshall.
Boy, Roman's – I'm fearful for my job. He's pretty dang smooth.
You better be. No, I'm joking.
Nice
he's got bigger things ahead of him.
Yep.
Broadcasting will be down the road, way down the road for that young man. Very talented young man.
Good in the classroom.
Great family.
Yep.
And we appreciate all of you out there tonight joining us on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about former Navarre Raiders. Where are they now? As we get ready to wind up our Wednesday night show here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Ooh, full house.
We hope that you've enjoyed it.
Don't be a stranger, man.
But this is the first time all year that I won the high school and the college picks in the same week. But we'll move on. We won't talk about that.
No, that's great.
We won't talk about that. But we're going to talk about the SIAC. Well, that was very briefly. It's a very diminutive segment.
Oh, there's that word again.
Okay, former Navarre Raiders, where are they now?
Former.
Arizona Cardinals running back Michael Carter is still on the practice squad.
Yep.
They're 1-3 on the season. Hopefully he'll find the field here sometime in 24. Jacksonville Jaguars defensive lineman Jordan Jefferson, they're still looking for their first win on the season. It's been a struggle.
I'm surprised. Their leading tackler for Jacksonville was out. I was surprised Jordan didn't get on the field.
Wide receiver Quentin Randolph, even though he plays in the IFL, their season is done. I'm still going to talk about him because I believe this young man deserves a chance at the NFL, or the UFL or the NFL, who's not ever given this man a chance. Very talented young man.
CFL.
He is a wide receiver that goes after the ball, and if he gets his hands on it, you might as well secure it in those hands.
Yeah, possession receiver for sure.
Quentin deserves a chance at the next level above the IFL. Temple wide receiver Dante Wright, 3 big weeks in a row for Dante. Fortunately, Temple's struggling a little bit. They're 1-4 overall. Last week he had 8 receptions for 98 yards and a score, a 42-14 loss to Army. On this season, Dante with 34 receptions, 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 carries on the season. 6. He's our main punt returner for Temple. Eastern Kentucky University running back Josh Carter, the youngest of the 3 Carter boys. I should say young men now because they're all grown up now. 19 carries for the 3rd time this year, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 31-7 win over Robert Morris. They're 3-2 on the season. And on the season, he's 85 carries, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, 6 receptions for 54 yards. McNeese State University offensive lineman Elijah Melendez. He started every game this year for McNeese State. They're 4-2. They're on a 4-game winning streak after starting the season 0-2. He started in a 28-26 win over Weber State, a very solid FCS school.
Yep.
Next game is Saturday. They'll be at Houston Christian. They'll be favored to win that game. Big game for our next young man, Bailey Houston for Huntington College. They're 1-2 on the season. They had a tough loss last week in a 31-28 loss to Hendricks. He had 9 tackles, 6 solo, 3 assists, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and an interception in the 31-28 loss. This week they'll be hosting Bellhaven, 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. On the season, Bailey has 17 tackles, of which 13 are solo, 5 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. And he switches back between the linebacker and safety positions, and 1 interception as well. Florida State defensive lineman Grady Kelly registered his first sack this past week in a 42-16 loss to SMU. This week they faced one of their nemesis in the ACC, Clemson, but they'll be at home this week, looking for hopefully a better performance this weekend, Bob.
I hope so.
Next we have University of West Florida linebacker Devin Wright, the younger brother of Dante. They're 1-2 on the season. They went and played Grand Valley State last week. You're saying, who's Grand Valley State? Well, that was the team that used to be coached by Brian Kelly. He had 2 national titles when he was at Grand Valley State. They're a Division II school, I believe, up in Ohio. And
Grand Valley?
Grand Valley, Michigan or Ohio, up in that area.
Cold.
Yeah. Not cold yet, but they'll be at home this week as they host Mississippi College. I think we're going to head out to that game since Notre Dame is off this week. I think Brady and I are going to head on out.
Good.
Next, we got Kennesaw State offensive lineman Ethan Newman. He's starting for the Owls. They're struggling. They're 0-4, looking for their first win. They had suffered a loss at home last week to UT Martin, 24-13. They'll be playing Friday night against Jacksonville State and FCS Power.
Yep.
And that should be a good game there. Then we got Western Michigan wide receiver Terrence Marshall got on the field for 1 play, and he got pretty much taken care of. And but he did play a little bit in that game. 27-20 loss at Marshall.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Paul does a great job with interviewing the young men. They feel very, very comfortable with Paul. And I'm glad that Paul's here to help us.
A lot of these kids grew up with Vinny.
Yeah.
And through elementary school and middle school.
So they know
of course.
Mr. Paul, Mr. Clean, as
Clean.
we call him. They'll be playing at Ball State this week. Western Florida defensive back Tyrell Marshall, his twin brother, he did not get in the 31-7 loss to Grand Valley State. Maryville College and Jackson Spalla and Hunter Feaster, they did not play. Their game was postponed due to Hurricane Helene. Mm-hmm. And Lighthouse Christian College got back in the winning column. Offensive lineman Charlie Cottrell plays up there. He's a freshman. They're 3-1. They beat Treasure Coast Prep this past weekend, 38-6. They have this week off, and then they'll be back at it against Southwest Florida Prep next weekend. There's your former Navarre Raiders, and we're going to go over the Gulf South Conference and SIAC Conference real quick. On the weekend last weekend, there was a couple of 3 cancellations due to the storm. Delta State at Erskine, Shorter at North Greenville, and West Alabama at Valdosta State all canceled. They'll be rescheduled as they are conference games. Chowan beat Mississippi College 27-25. Grand Valley State 31-7 over West Florida. This week's games, Valdosta State goes up to Rome, Georgia to face off with Shorter University. Erskine will be at West Alabama, North Greenville possibly at Benedict. I'm not sure what the conditions are in South Carolina.
I don't know.
Mississippi College will be coming over here to West Florida. Chowan will be at Delta State. Leading the conference, you got 4 teams at 1-0 in the conference play with Valdosta State, West Alabama, North Greenville, and Chowan. Delta State yet to play their first conference game. West Florida and Erskine 0-1. Mississippi College 0-2 in conference play. Over in the SIAC Conference, Week 5 schedule saw Miles beat Allen 33-13.
That was a TV game again.
Yeah, and Benedict beat Morehouse 21-5. Three touchdowns, a field goal, and a safety for Morehouse. Clark Atlanta stays unbeaten. They beat Lane 38-28. Albany State over Kentucky State 49-21. Fort Valley State all over Savannah State 30-0. Tuskegee over Edward Waters 27-13. Week 6 schedule, Lane at Kentucky State, Tuskegee at Morehouse, Savannah State at Clark Atlanta. North Greenville at Benedict, Fort Valley State at Edward Waters, Central State at Miles College, and Albany State at Allen.
What's this up with Miles College, man, being on ESPN Plus every week?
Miles College, the Golden Bears.
The real Golden Bears.
The real Golden Bears.
The real Golden Bears.
Yeah, not Cal.
Not Jack Nicklaus.
No. Well,
although he was the original.
He was the original.
Sorry.
He's the GOAT.
Yes. Yes.
He's the GOAT. But Miles College Golden Bears, they dropped a couple of games early as they played teams out of the SIAC conference. So,
well, Birmingham's a fairly large market too. So
it sure is.
Yeah.
And so what'd you think of the show tonight, Bob?
Man, jam-packed. Great kids.
I want to thank the staff here at Buffalo Wild Wings for allowing us to come in, and we take up a couple of tables. I think we had maybe 10 players here tonight with their families, and
their parents dropped some money.
Yes, they did. They dropped some jack.
You ought to see the pile of wings those dudes went through.
Man.
After what? Hot dog night?
Even the kickers were over there eating. The kicker was over there eating. I don't know how many wings he had tonight either, but we'll get them on the air here in the near future.
Absolutely.
Kate Fugate, Jack Meyer. We'll get some other players. We like to bring in as many different players as we can so that you guys can get familiar with them as well, and they get comfortable talking on the mic as well.
I mean, what other high school does this in the area, in Northwest Florida, in the Tallahassee area? Probably nobody. So
2 shows Tuesday night.
Hats
we're at
off to you.
Culver's of Navarre. Wednesday night is our night for interviews here at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is our second year here. I think we've done 8 years over at Culver's, and prior to that, we did 3 years at the Twist in Navarre. That's how we came up with Irish Bill's Twist on sports. And the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show speaks for itself. But
look at there. That is a.
Oh, thanks for bringing us some wings.
No,
no, I already had. Nice meeting you, Ricky.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you might get your hand bitten off. You try to take his wings from the QB1.
That, and you definitely don't reach in front of an offensive lineman and their wings, because you're asking for
disaster. Better count fingers.
You're asking for disaster there. You may be fine us a few digits.
But you know what? It warms my heart. They're smiling. They're laughing. They're having a good time. No, some of them didn't get on the air. We're sorry. We had Bill and I got to get
both of us got to get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah, really.
But we'll be back on the air Friday night, 6:30 pregame from Escambia High School.
Yep.
7 o'clock kickoff. The Raiders look for win number 3 in a row, and their 3rd win on the season against a very talented Escambia Gator team coached by one of the longest-standing coaches in the area, Mike Bennett.
Yep.
Great guy. Been coaching as long as I've been here in the Panhandle since '91. I think it was even before that where he's been coaching 30-plus years. Great guy, character, interesting guy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be live and from the rooftop, even if we have to bring the awning with us.
Up on the roof.
But
listen, I want to say give a shout out to Coach Garrett Bagley, named the South Florida University High School Coach of the Week.
Wow, that's a big honor.
So congratulations to Coach Bagley, especially a first-year coach in his 5th game as a head coach.
Yep.
So
2-3.
I think the state saw how big of a win that was, and
I think they surprised a lot of people, but they didn't surprise themselves. They came prepared for that game.
Coach Somerville is a very experienced coach. So is his brother,
Rhett.
Garrett Bagley outcoached the other side, and the players from Navarre outplayed them. And we're so proud because from where we started to where we're now is, just huge. We just got to keep up the momentum. You know what Coach Lou Brown said. You win one, that's nice.
You win two. The next one you win, you'll now have
a winning streak. And I got a side of white walls online too.
Major League. You gotta love that movie. Some great lines that and Forrest Gump. Some of the best one-liners in any movies. Those two movies right there. But we're going to call it a night here from Buffalo Wild Wings. Hope you have enjoyed the show tonight. Some new faces for you to meet, and
absolutely,
and looking for them a lot more in the future, because a few of those linemen that we interviewed, two of them were sophomores, one was a junior. So,
oh yeah, I mean,
and Roman's only a junior as well.
They
so
stay around.
All those guys will be back next year.
Plus, a talented running back.
We'll have Curtis Sanders and Keegan Gilbert coming back next year.
Yeah.
And very talented running backs at
Got to keep
Navarre.
the focus. Escambia is not a district game. We play Pace next. Who do we play after Escambia? I forget.
I think we'll have Crestview and Pace in back-to-back weeks. Two district games at home.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So after tonight, we'll only have one more road game. That will be week 10 at Gulf Breeze. Then we'll be back at home with Niceville in week 11. So 3 of the next 4 after the Escambia game will be at Bennett C. Russell Stadium.
And huge.
And 2 big district games that will decide the district.
Absolutely.
But for Seminole Bob, this has been Irish Built. And like him and I, we're going to call it a night. And I hope you guys do too. But join us back up Friday night from Escambia High School and Emmett Smith Field. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff.
Join us. If not, we'll be here for you.
And we always got to go off with the song.
To be farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather. I can't go any higher on my voice there.
Here, let me help you.
Please don't.
Just adore a penthouse view.
Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
Times Square. You are my life. Goodbye, city life. Bakers, we are there.